For tvOS, your app icons are required to be layered images. Look how cool they look. Whee!
Whoa. For all of your other focusable items like buttons or like the cells that we have here, layered images are strongly encouraged, but not required.
These look pretty good. The layers and parallax effects simulate the shiny embossed movie packages covers from the olden days that used to entice us to rent at Blockbuster Video. How do these work?
Well, let's head back over to Xcode and take a look. So you can see our app icon here. And this, the layered image is an image format that's made from between 2 and 5 PNG images that are composited together. And when they're combined with the parallax effect, they give you that impression of depth that you like so much. If you're using, a UI kit, if you're using UI images, your layered images can get this fancy effect auto-magically. You just have to make sure that you set adjust image when ancestor focus to true. You can also use this checkbox here in Interface Builder, adjust image when focused.
You're the resident artist here at the Swift Playhouse. Are you using Affinity Designer to make the graphics for these images?
I am. So let's take a look at the file that I've made for one of our app icons. So the rules basically go like this. The bottom layer, the background layer, has to be opaque, but the other 1 to 4 layers can and should take advantage of transparency like I have here. You can also have partial transparency like I have on these colored sort of drop shadows there. Now, planning layered images is interesting. So here are some of the directions that Apple gives to you. Since part of Apple's focus effect or parallax effect is making the focused item appear larger, when you're planning to make the images, you must design for the larger fully focused size because upsampling is the devil. The tricky part is most of the time your image will not be in focus, so any collection view grids or buttons that you lay out, they're going to be set up based on the unfocused size.
There are diagrams and directions for creating layered images for any purpose in the tvOS Human Interface Guidelines. Apple also has templates available for the app icons and top-shelf images.
Those gave me a good idea of how to interpret the somewhat confounding diagrams. So here is my interpretation that I use to create images for our collection view cells. To calculate dimensions, you need to start by choosing your desired unfocused size. Note that the shorter side of your focus size and final art size will be calculated proportionately based on the longer side. So once you have your unfocused size, you can calculate the focused size or safe zone. And this is the area in which you want any critical elements to live inside this blue part here. So that's going to be your unfocused long side plus 70. Then you can calculate the final long side of your image. That is going to be the longest unfocused side plus 70 times approximately 106%. And that area, that orange area here, is what I would have called in the printing world a bleed, which means that anything in that frame can be expected to be cropped off. So don't shove text all the way up against the edge of your image. Finally, you may need to add somewhere between 0 and 10 points to either side to create pretty round numbers so that you're not having something like 476 by 267.5. How are we doing? Is this all clear?
No, needs more numbers. But aside from that, once you have your layers designed at the right size, how do you transform these layers into a usable layered image in Xcode?
Well, you can use the Photoshop plugin, and Apple provides that, but we aren't using that because we've switched over to Affinity. Yay, Affinity. And the plugin, as far as we can tell, wouldn't work in Affinity Photo. But I also wouldn't use a raster focus app for this icon.
You can build layered images in the Xcode asset catalog and use them directly from there. To do so, you create a new Apple TV image stack, and then you add or subtract layers to the number that you want, and then you drag in your PNG files.
Yep, that's actually how we built the app icons, but for the collection view cell images, I use the Parallax Previewer for Mac OS, which is currently my favorite way to build the layered images. So you would start by exporting your PNG layers from Affinity Designer or whatever you're using. You drag them into the app, and then you play with the literal shiny toy that Apple has given to you. You can change the layer order. You can add custom backgrounds. You can add little rounded corners to see what it looks like as an icon. And you can also hit the little play button here if you get too tired or lazy to keep wiggling your finger around. One of the really cool things about this is that it's really fast to make edits. So let's say we don't really like the background color of this icon anymore. So let's change it to be kind of blue and green and yellow. Looks great, right? Okay, so let's export it. Wow, it's just awesome. So we'll just export it, and then when we go back here, you can see that it's automatically updated our preview. That's been really handy. So once you have it looking the way you like, this is just looking fabulous. So then you can go up here to the export menu and export to one of two possible layered image formats.
LSR is for images that will be embedded in the app. You drag these into the Xcode asset folder like you would with any other image asset.
The other format is LCR, which is intended for images that will be downloaded at runtime. So for each episode and each video that we have in our app, we've uploaded an LCR file to CloudKit. And that's how we've made our tvOS app look so pretty. Wah!
I like dark mode better.
You do it. Shift Command D. You got it. Awesome.